A war begins in the Middle East, and within days, families in India are standing in long queues just to get a LPG cylinder. Think about that for a moment. India is a country of around 1.46 billion people, yet a disruption thousands of kilometers away was enough to push parts of the country into panic over something as basic as cooking fuel. And this is the real question. Why is India suffering this badly? Why countries like China and Japan appears far more stable under the same global shock? In this video, we'll break down what happened, why India was so vulnerable, what the government failed to do in time, and how other countries built systems that India still does not have. Here is what is happening after the recent escalation involving Iran and Strait of Hormuz. One of the world's most critical energy routes was disrupted, and that immediately hit countries dependent on Gulf energy supplies. But in India, this does not remain just an international oil story. It became a household crisis. LPG bookings surged, queues formed outside agencies, prices went up, and small businesses that depend on commercial cylinders started facing serious disruption. So this is not just about geopolitics, it's about what happened when poor planning turned a global crisis into daily struggle. To understand this crisis, you first need to understand how dependent India has become on imported LPG. India now imports about 60% of the LPG it consumes, and roughly 90 to 91% of those imports come from the Gulf region. And there is an even bigger problem. Around 90% of India's LPG imports travel through the Strait of Hormuz. That means one narrow maritime choke point has become a lifeline for millions of Indian households. This dependence matters because LPG is no longer a luxury fuel in India. Through schemes like Ujjwala, LPG connections were expanded to more than 10 crore poor households, and India now has more than 33 crore active LPG consumers. So India built one of the world's largest household gas network. But the critical question is this: did India build an equally strong backup system to protect that network during a crisis? The answer clearly is no. The first reason India was hit so badly is simple: over-dependence. India's LPG supply chain is heavily tied to Gulf producers and the Hormuz route. When that route was disrupted, India did not have enough flexibility. Countries with more diversified energy sources could shift parts of the burden to other suppliers or draw down reserves. India could not do that quickly enough. This is a policy problem, not just a geography problem. Gulf tensions are not new. There was always a possibility of LPG disruption around Iran and Hormuz, yet India continued to leave its cooking gas system dangerously exposed to that one choke point. India had reserves, but not the right kind. Government officials said India has around 74 days of crude oil and petroleum products cover. On paper, that sounds reassuring, but this is where the fine print matters. India's underground strategic petroleum reserve is only about 5.33 million metric tons, or roughly 9.5 days of crude demand, and these reserves are for crude oil, not a dedicated emergency reserve for household LPG. That is the real loophole. India created emergency backup for crude, but not for the fuel millions of families use every day to cook food. There is no equivalent national strategic LPG reserve that can shield household during a sudden shipping disruption. And that is why crisis showed up so quickly. The system had some oil buffer, but not enough LPG specific protection. Government response was reactive, not proactive. Now let's look at the timing. Conflict escalated on 28 February, and immediately the Strait of Hormuz was effectively shut to commercial shipping. India set up an interministerial monitoring panel only on 4 March. Then on 8 and 9 March, the government issues orders to maximize LPG output from refineries and create a committee to allocate non-domestic LPG. Those are real steps, but the problem is they came after the risk had already turned into visible public stress. Panic booking jumped from around 75 lakh per day to 88 lakh. That tells you people had already lost confidence in government supply stability. So the real question is not whether the government acted at all. The question is, why did it acted after the crisis was already visible instead of before. In Punjab's Barnala district, Bhushan Kumar Mittal, reported to be around 60 to 66-year-old, collapsed and died while waiting in line for an LPG cylinder. Reports describe it as a cardiac arrest while he stood in the queue during the panic over gas supply. That one incident captured the cruelty of this crisis. A geopolitical conflict became a queue became a health concern, and that health concern turned into death. Now comes the most important comparison. India is not only large country dependent on imported energy. So why does India look so fragile? Take China. China has also massive energy needs, but it spent years diversifying supply. Russia is now its biggest crude supplier, and China also has pipeline from Russia and Central Asia that bypass Hormuz entirely. On top of that, analysts estimate China has strategic reserve of around 900 million barrels, close to 3 months of imports. Now look at Japan. Japan is also highly dependent on Middle Eastern energy, yet when this crisis hit, Japan moved quickly to release about 45 days of oil reserve and joined the broader IEA coordinated stock release. That is what preparation looks like. Not avoiding every crisis, but having enough cushion to prevent panic at home. And then there is our country. Around 74 days of total petroleum cover, only about 3.5 days of strategic crude reserve, and no dedicated strategic LPG reserve for household. So yes, the Middle East crisis is global, but India's panic is more intense because India's preparation was weaker. So what exactly went wrong? Let's be direct. Failure number 1. India remained dangerously dependent on Gulf LPG despite years of visible geopolitical risk in the region. Failure number 2. The country expanded LPG connection to crores of households but never created a dedicated strategic LPG reserve to protect them in an emergency. Failure number 3. The response was reactive. Monitoring panels, refinery diversion orders, and allocation committee came only after disruption had already become public. Failure number 4. There was no strong parallel protection for small businesses dependent commercial gas. Restaurant vendors and local food services were squeezed while households were prioritized. Failure number 5, and the most important one. Crises don't just test system, they test leadership. When panic spread across the country over the LPG shortage, one question stood out. Where was the Prime Minister Modi at a time when leaders across the world stepped forward to address their people, offer clarity and restore calm? Why was there no direct communication from India's Prime Minister? No press conference, not even a scheduled address. In moment of uncertainty, citizens don't just need policy moves, they need reassurance. They need to hear that things are under control. So why did 140 crore Indians not hear that from their own Prime Minister? The war has indeed started in the Middle East, but the suffering here is amplified by India's own policy weaknesses. A country of 1.46 billion people should never be this exposed when one global route is disrupted. Energy security is not just about imports, diplomacy, or oil prices. It is about whether an ordinary family can cook dinner when the world goes into crisis. If this video helped you understand the real issue behind the LPG crisis, share it, because accountability begins when people understand how policy failure affects everyday life.